Miami on the other end, undefeated, like the Des touched on it.
Undefeated is incredible, and again, an exciting thing to throw into the mix here at their own major is that they're definitely a contender. I think this series for me is a big one. You've played great teams, now you play a team that's potentially really hot. Walk away with a dub here. I'm looking at the Heretics in a very, very dangerous way. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hacienda, start off this series. Nice bit of rewind thrown in there as well, Jane. If we have to go the distance, that dealership, licking my lips for that one. Here we go.
Yeah, if we get to the game number 5, we're most likely going to go into a round 11. But into the map number 1 we go, where Minnesota Rocker just have to be the team ahead of the game. Because you saw yesterday in Miami's series versus Toronto, when they were losing majority of rotations, they found not really a lot of success working on those breaks. So Minnesota need to put a lot of focus on their rotations. And already off the rip, like Miami are defending every kill. We need to slow down and find an opening.
Oh, we find anything. I'll be happy with a contest. But you're getting nothing. Oh my. This is unheard of. This is a lot. Nero, can you end it? Finally. Breaks the chain. I mean, this is a fantastic P1 hold, Jay. Finally now, with 12 seconds to go, Rock can get on time.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, but at least Rock can get aggressive with those kills once they find them. But Real makes up for it with a double, so you're still able to contest for these back spawns. A big one-on-one in towards P2. Rancor is able to win it. Spawns in for Heretics. They are securing towards the back, but the pressure's already here from Rock.
Yeah, great time. And that's going to be enough time to get the reinforcements in there for the Heretics. So wonderful start to this map for those boys. Rancor off of spawn, right back to his duty. Watching the backline there, damaging a one-man, kills another. Metals on the side door, gets the stick. A dangerous opportunity though for a little bit of friendly fire there, but good job out of everyone on the Heretics. Again, endless flow of kills, and now another 30 to go on P2.
Yeah, fantastically played. When you talk about the trade fights, always having the one-up advantage, and now 25 seconds still to fight for here at P2. Minnesota know that they had to try to contest this. Thankfully, they're able to win all the gunfights, go 4 for 1, so that final 20 is going to be theirs. But now if you're Miami, let's just back on up, because dying off the rotation is a no-no.
Oh, it's a no-no indeed. That's it. Great timing on the spawns them, and good timing on the kills. Real goes down. Rotation over to Nu is on, and Real will not be involved in that fight for a moment, folks. So good stuff again at the Heretics. Rocker now with an opportunity to get the break. They have the numbers over towards the next hard point. Nero on the clear out. Can he find anything? Rancor in the back line. You have to finish this kill. He's still a danger, and Nero does put him down. 6 spree for the young Emperor now. Turns it into a 0 after that one. Good shots out. Super. New hard point at the ready, folks. Here we go.
Yeah, they're making this very scrappy, at least so far. Because if you're Miami, at least you stabilize in that moment, win the clutch one-on-ones, secure the back spawn. You don't have any top plat control, but you're still winning gunfights. That's another 3 for 1. Back spawn secured. All your focus is on the front. And if you're Rocker, 25 seconds, we can't give up this time, even though we know next hill's a money one.
Oh, here we go. Still trying to make a big old route. Rancor spotted Stim, and yeah, it was good until it wasn't. Lovely work again. I can't stop saying it. Singing the praise of the Heretics, as this is a brilliant hard point for them so far. 4 spree for Rancor, 2 there for Super as well, and they're looking at Rock hard point with very open eyes.
Yeah, they can close the game out right here if they want it. If they soak up a lot of time here and don't allow Minnesota Rocker to find early success, then they can blow the game wide open. But Geo finds a double. The AR starting to get activated on the side of Rocker. The break comes in quick, and now you just need a great hold to get back in the game.
Dios mío, what a turn. Okay, Rocker's in. Geo living over there by Rock. What a piece of cover that is to work with, as the Miami Heretics now trying to get themselves a break over towards this hard point. Not an easy thing to do. Let's go for a listen in.
Son 2 segundos, me aguanta el medio. Voy al medio, voy a flancar por dentro. Me estoy mirando el medio.
No estoy el lambo yo,
Blanco, muerto.
Tengo de frente. La roca, el punto. Me has echado bien, solo uno. Te hacen de frente de embarcadero. Vale, pues sí. Sí, son 2 metal. Te van los 2 metal. Es una por arriba.
Otra más. Un tiro Gio.
Vale, apunta.
En open.
Sí, son 2. Está muerto. Un tiro que no tiene
Arriba azul y rojo.
Vale, y en el blanco está un tiro que doble, vale. Puede ser que no se
Derecha,
muerto.
buena.
Vale, escúchame, estoy pinchado plan, nacen embarcadero, sí, nacen embarcadero.
Esa línea de...
Lo vi arriba, está ya.
Solo uno, bro.
Puntos
no lo veis solamente de arte, solo nada.
lo vio en la
muerto. Otra más, el blanco.
Vale, blanco no veo.
Tengo el chase.
Van a ser desplidados, sumo yo.
mirando, plan de la polla.
Vale, me estoy mirando.
Me tengo harta abajo desde el punto, bro. Me tengo harta abajo desde el punto.
Buena.
Vale, sí, dale, escucha. Vale, harta abajo cuchillo. Muerto, dale, expúsate el pozo, dale. Vale, me estoy mirando. No, el siguiente es uno, falta uno. Es solo el siguiente, creo. Sí, jolete para tal. No, el siguiente. Es solo uno siguiente, es solo real. Está el siguiente esquineado. Escucha, voy de frente, haces todo stream. Vas a tomarnos tiempo, vas a... Sí, estoy yendo por el lobby, sí. Yo por arriba.
Vale, vais con vosotros.
Sí, pega piña yo.
No gana nada, chavales. Pozo di,
¿Quieres caracol? Mete abajo, no, quiero pillar tanto, vas a echar a la izquierda, caracol, dame un segundo, fondo derecho, así que ni muerto, súper. Estoy tiro, dale, al fondo ya. Has hecho esa win, falta, fondo 1 y otro punto. Vale, ha nacido in. Tira piña, voy a ir solo.
Senor Study, your Spanish is much better than mine. How's the listening?
It was good, man. It just came down to like the very end of that listening where Rencor yells in Spanish, obviously, that everyone has died. But then by the time Real, when he's rotating over towards P2, and then he gets shot in the back from Estriel, una falta, that means that they were missing one, and Estriel made such a big play when in that second gunfight through the front door to allow his team to dominate this entire P2, and Minnesota are right back in it. It was so tough because you're looking for one guy, and the one guy made the big time play.
Big time play and big time for the Rocker Boys. Now, full control of the hardpoint goes towards the Heretics, and we have a counterattack on our hands. And Estriel starting to make moves. This is a good look for the Heretics to get back into this one, but you're not giving up any space right now. Through the back line, we now send it, Rocker. Estriel through the front. Contest is on. And they've got the numbers here to break this, but they don't have the pinches. There's a massive opportunity for Real to find some damage here, and he's going to get it. And Kenny from behind. What a win, Ken! He's starting to turn it around as well. So this hard point is still in the hands of Heretics.
Yeah, but thankfully Real was able to draw the attention of multiple players there to have them weak, and then Rancor flies on in to find the last three. So this potential 20 is going to go their way. Minnesota going to cut their losses early, and think about that rotation, but already dropping off the rotation is not ideal. Now you're going to spawn all the way over towards Well. You're going to be late over towards New. You're going to need a break again here at the Money Hill.
Oh, big time Money Hill. No, nice one there from Nero. Doesn't let it happen. So here we go. Rocker with the hard point in their hands. Can they hold it? Heretics now are making their way across map. Another pitch from Real. Another wild spawn. Errant this time, but he has been identified. A red dot on the minimap, and he has got the kill. Now the two remaining members of Rocker there on time. Super's in. Here's the contest. Kill number one. Oh, nearly on the second, but the trade's going to be there. Rocker reinforcements are here on the doorstep immediately, and the battle continues. No one's still able to get the contest over. It is non-stop, and it is Real. It is Estriel, and it is Nero in the feed. Super with two. What a bang out.
Oh my God, it's just trade after trade. An absolute pinstripe kill feed. Minnesota last team standing, but still, the pressure is already in your face. Miami trying to rally everyone from Lambeau's side, and Kenny with the SMG is able to line up three. So Rocker take the lead again. Final 10 seconds are gonna go their way as they're going into the third set of these hard points, Miles.
What a start to this one, boys and girls. Can we get two out of here for Ken? No, we can't. Rencor, massive win. Couple of love taps there to his boys. Lead for Rocker. Estriel getting into the fight. Here we go. This could be a big set of cleanup kills for Real. Good moves. And even better, Gunny. That is unbelievable. Hard point in the hands of Heretics once again.
Yeah, that's insane. The fact that Real's able to finesse in that engagement of line up two, and now Miami take the lead by a slim margin. They're still dominating the kill feed, and now they're going to start to flip those spawns. If you are Minnesota, more specifically Estriel, you have to try to make another big time play on this side of the map.
He's making it happen. On the move. Another. Beautiful shots into the second. Geo picks up. Here we go. Hard point. Rocker. Heretics on the quick counterattack. Trying to maintain the P2 spawns as well. 20 seconds to go before that is a factor. But for now, you're still trying to battle for mid and get this scrap time. Rencor on the spawn out.
Rencor spawns all the way across the map. So if you're Minnesota, you want to try to at least work your way through the front side, and Estriel is in the same position to make that same exact play. The only difference is Miami have two players off the rotation, effective on the trade. Spawns have been secured, but Minnesota contesting from Well.
And now you've got a little bit of intel on the backline. Super trying to stay alive here. Gets the stun onto Nero. And what a run from Mel's. This is another massive Heretics pinch. He could cut the whole map out here. This could be game. Mel's might call it. Final man gone. The Heretics slam. The spawns are still there at Well. The game will be won here. You must commit to this, Rocker.
Yeah, good thing for Rockers that they get those close spawns. They're not going to waste a lot of time to still get back into the play, but they got to get past the pre-aims of the super duper sub that just came into the lineup. Welcome to the squad. Big time players making big time plays, and with that 3, you can still win it here at P2.
We thought it was Metals, and we thought wrong. Super, what a moment. Through the front now, Rocker trying to get it. Again, you've got to get some time out of this. You've got to contest. You've got to cause a problem. There is a single opportunity to do so, and under a freaking hail of Heretics gunfire, no one is getting close. No one is even going to get a lick of that time. Miami Heretics, what a fantastic hard point to start the series.
Oh man, what a hard point from Miami. We're talking about dominating a majority of the rotations. Obviously, Sling was treating them very well in that map number 1 after the slow start from Rocker. But without those insane breaks and all those mixing moments at the P4, Rocker would have got blown out there. Like, you can't have slow starts out of your ARs. Your SMGs really couldn't find any consistency in their game. And then when you're not winning or putting a lot of focus off the rotations, especially on a map like Hacienda, you're consistently playing from the back foot. Miami Heretics always on the front end, take the power spots, set up their ARs. Everyone is basically positive. That's an easy hard point there for Miami.
Real good on there, man. Again, I was impressed by the comeback we saw from Rocket during the Miami Heretics listening. That was a very, very nice turn for them, and a good sign of life again for a team like Heretics, who are on Hacienda. Very, very competent team. Very, very good at what they're doing here. But they certainly pushed them a bit, Jay. But what were some of the real deciding moments for you, man? I mean, the P2s were obviously very, very strong. The rock hard points were bang out, start to finish, man. Really impressive stuff. But again, anything for you that was really decisive there?
I love how Miami is set up around their P1s. We're talking about how usually they are so chaotic. It's dead center of the map, so many lanes you need to watch, but they're able to micromanage that so damn well to where they're realizing, okay, we're dominating top hallway, we have rock control, they have to try to overextend and try to flip these spawns through well side, so let's just put someone there. And as long as we're dominating the kill feed, we're staying alive on the proper side of the map. It's going to make our rotations a whole lot easier towards the Money Hill at P2. The only opportunity that Minnesota made this somewhat of a game is when Estrio made that individual play at that Money Hill over towards Lambo. If that doesn't happen, they don't breach 100 points. Miami was just so good when you talk about the power position domination and the sling. Everything was just clicking right there for Miami.
The Fryman, and again, the highlights were all there. But this is the moment we thought Metals was going to win the game for his boys. And little did we know, it was Super. Spawns up, picks up an insane set of kills. This is perfect examples of how to isolate gunfights. He only fights one player at a time, given his position and given those angles, keeps that play going there. Great moment and a fantastic, fantastic highlight reel there for the Miami Heretics. Going into their major, starting this one off strong. Rocker are a squad they cannot take lightly. And this team, ever since, I mean, Rencor has been a fantastic addition to the squad. Really nice additions, brings a lot of fight to them. But Super has been the difference maker. Wicked stuff there. The game flow doesn't necessarily tell the story of what was a pretty caliente hard point there, Jake.
No, without question, man. Without Estrio going from 82 to 119, and basically at 134, once they get all that time there at P2, then this is an absolute blowout there for Miami. And you could even tell, like in that best play towards the very end of the highlights, like that's the difference between Lucky and Super. You put Lucky in that position, he's most likely walking away with one. But Super is able to put himself in the right position to walk away with all three. And that's what makes the rest of Miami Heretics more confident of holding their cuts. We know we got a guy that's a safety net. It's going to value his life so well towards the back end. And this is why it's so scary with this roster, because you just never know. They got the Slayers, they got the teamwork, and any given day it could be their day.
Well, today feels pretty good. How you feeling about that dealership game 5? Desk, you too. I know you're listening, but after seeing a hard point like that, you got to win a couple of big ones there, Rocker. So we'll see if it can happen. And it can happen. Anything can happen here in the COD League. But going to the S&D, rewind again, Jay. New looks, real new looks across the board. But two players we're going to be keeping an eye on, of course. Super, new kid on the block here for the Heretics, and Nero. What a demon he has been.
The crazy thing is that when you look at Super stats, 1.5, every single search and story that they have went to has basically been around 11. So majority of these rounds, he's just finding so much success. Guarantees at least 1 kill per round. Nero on the other side is always going to be able to set that pace with a 1.17, but Nero's the only guy on the side of Rocker that's actually performing in search and destroy. Everybody else is around a 0.9, and you heard the desk touch on it, name it specifically. He keeps calling out Estriel sitting at a 0.6, and he is truly going to be the X factor for me ever since this lineup was formed, because Estriel in stage 1 was a 1.1. Estriel in stage 2 was a 0.9. Estro in stage 3 is a 0.6. And I understand when you have a new roster, SD is always the last mode that you put a lot of focus on, or the ones that you are going to get the latest results in. But it's just right now, Estrio is their playmaker. You need this guy to have consistency in his S&D gameplay, and only having about a 20% opening duel rate in that first blood, he needs to turn that around.
And turn it around now, folks, like right now, talking about that 130 mark for breaking into the champs race. You cannot afford to keep losing series like this, especially against top tier teams. It's hard to pull those dubs out, but middle of the pack, teams beneath you in the standings, lose to them at your own peril. Here we go into another rewind. Not a lot of nade presence there from the Heretics on the approach now, so bear that in mind. That's going to be some heavy pockets going in towards these sites. Great for clearing out these corners.
Yeah, Minnesota going back to the day one strategy. Every time I watch them play rewind, which is now the 4th time, they are loving early on to dominate over towards gens, crack the door open, stun nade, and then eventually slide their way into DVD, but no pressure through the middle of the map. Metal strikes for the first blood, and he already finds a second.
Hey, Dos, that's beautiful. Absolutely exquisite stuff. He's looking for a couple more as a red dot on the minimap for him. Number 3 for Metals. Can he get himself one more? Can he find himself the ace? Go on, son. Throw it wide. Send it and get yourself into the highlight reel. Round 1, Miami Heretics.
Oh, that's very, very easy right there if you're Miami, because, all right, no one's going to attack us through the mid side of the street, so let's just push up and have so many different angles of approach to work our way in towards DVD. It's usually Kenny who chows that, or at least gains the info early on for Rocker, but they decide to stack 4 over towards the right side, and then Metals just gets aggressive, finds the first blood, already has the second player weak, and then just continues on with his pacing, finds the opening ace there to set the tone.
And the tone was, anything you try and do, Rocker, we will be there and we will be in the fight. One frag over the top. A concussion there from what looked like Rocker that didn't necessarily connect, but that did connect for Metal. So a ton of himself passed over here and baiting out, but not only the tacticals, now the lethals as well, and a ton of intel.
Oh, but Nero takes a lot of space. Unfortunately, he does get caught by Metals. So first blood again in favor of Heretics. Have Kenny isolated over towards Burger. Does he try to work on his deep pinch? But as he does, you're able to spot him if you're ranked core. So that's more information. Let's just team push out something.
Everyone there on Rock is so tight right now. They are close. Nels on the approach, clearing it. The hop check. I think he may have seen a player's head. Oh, he definitely knows something's on now. Rocker go from tight to very, very wide now on the setup, trying to find anything here. Geo, he's in a 1v2 potentially over here as the bomb gets planted by B.
Yeah, bomb's gonna go down, and now the re-wrap from Real onto Geo is definitely gonna catch him off guard. So numbers heavily in favor of Miami. You know that they have to be working the pinch because we already cleared out their base, and Renko in the perfect spot to at least have him weak or find a kill if he wants to. Miami quickly up 2-0.
And that's a nice post-plant position to find yourselves in. So every angle covered. I mean, a nice wrap there from Real. Gets himself out there. He eliminates himself from play for a moment, and then the absolute classic one-man prone. One man standing. It's a dangerous looking red dot situation there. It's hard to tell that there are 2 players, and at the same time, you walk around that corner, you are dead. All right, Rocker.
Quickly.
Let's get some rounds, boys.
Yeah, we need to figure something out, man, because we can't be falling deeper into the Search and Destroy. We know we need this match. We need to be showing our improvements in Search and Destroy. This time you're going to send Geo and Kenny over towards the Burger side. You're able to have a couple players weak, gain info on at least the 2, but it's a battle between the SMGs and towards DVD, and Nero strikes first.
That's what we're talking about, Nero. That's a 2-piece for Nero. That gets you wide open control of the A-bomb site. This next man on the way in super. He doesn't want to take that fight too fast. He's tagged up. Nero looking for an ace of his own. Can he slide around this one? He's trying to get the gardening done. Is it a green thumb? No, it's a teammate, but Nero turns it on for Rocker in round 3.
Yeah, it's just a 2-2 play right there. 2v2 on both sides of the map. SMGs versus the SMGs. ARs versus the ARs. That time Nero is able to put himself in the proper position to not only walk away with the first blood, but the second immediately. And then just get aggressive over through DVD. You pop the door open. You catch him with a stun in hand. And even at 94 HP, you're barely weak. Just catch him with his pants down. I don't know if Metals was definitely a little bit hurt there in that engagement, but Nero there with the aggression, sets the tone, secures the round there for Rocker.
Yeah, bro, he looked like he melted him instant. Could have been an assist. You never know. All right, Super's nades up. It's not going to connect. Nobody home at this point in time. More bodies on the inside of the A site, and that's where Rocker are asking for this fight, and the stuns are connecting. 6 HP. Real, big damage. Can you finish the kill on a Geo? Neither can your teammates. So now a bit of a streak play. As Rencor playing Island. Jay, we are throwing shoulders.
Oh, yeah. You know that they're already in towards DVD. We don't want to gift them free first blood, so we're going to try to slow down the round, potentially play the mind games when Nero gets caught overextending a little bit. First blood in favor of Super, and now Minnesota got to get active on the flank.
Oh, I love this. They take control of the site. They give all the space they want, and they dip. Ow! Oh, no! Rocker, do not account for that one. It was a trap set, and what a move from Metals now, working the bait and switch perfectly. 4v1, Estriel finds himself one at the very least, but surely these lads send it and take him down.
Shit, 1v3, let's not give him any 1v1s. You know, let's just back up, play safe with the teammates, but you're able to find Rencor. So potentially a 1v4 in the cards with 35 seconds. Estriel's got a lot of time.
He's not wasting any of it, though. He's not wasting it to grab a weapon of any kind. So, oh, might have been spotted out. The double back there from the Heretics, and now the long route. Are they going to time this out well? Super, you're going to be the watchman on this side of the map. The perfect piece of cover to work with. That is it, folks. A worthy attempt from Estriel, but the Heretics, 3-1.
Yeah, it's easy when you're finding your success in your first bloods. That time you shut down their most aggressive player in Nero. They're forced to try to make up for it, make the quick decision to try to work the pinch, but just don't clear out all of the pinch. It gets shot in the back for free. So instant numbers. Miami take advantage of it, get the bomb down. 1v4 for Estriel, makes it a 1v2. But the information gained strong enough once the post plant setup goes in for Miami to now take the 2-round lead. Rocker need to have an answer on their offense, and I just think I need to see a pace change up, because if we go back to this gen, slide the door open, stunning nades, like, nah, it hasn't worked out for quite some time. Let's just go B.
Let's hit something. Let's bang something out. See how the Heretics respond to that on the 2-2 once again. They had success the first time they played this way. Close range for Doink there. Doesn't connect. Trophies are in this one. Just over a minute to go, and we are going to make something happen right about now.
Real strikes, has everybody absolutely one side here. Let me just clean that one up. But Metal strikes for the first blood. Now it's instant a 1v3, and Kenny is going to get surrounded by Miami. Just so much success in that early first blood column. That's been the recipe for success in Miami and S&D so far this stage. They've been the best team in that first blood, and also the best team once they find it in conversion rate. But it's just Rocker keep getting caught. You keep getting caught out of position. You're simply going to get outnumbered. And then once that first kill goes down and all that action is going down, they just have the numbers advantage. It's easy for Miami whenever they're finding that opening kill.
I mean, they're putting in the good work. Again, it's little things like this. They're just finding kills on site. They're making opportunities happen. They are playing Rocker really well. It's not so many pre-nades. It's not so many car explosions. It's something you do see a lot of here on Rewind. But, mate, these boys, they have spread this round as well. Look at that minimap.
It's been every single round on defense for Rocker, just aggressive as hell through DVD, so we can just keep on slowing down the game, allowing them to run into us. Gain information early on that Kenny was playing over towards Burger. He's been Mr. Consistent on the pinch watch, but it's on Kenny if he can catch this timing through doors, and he does, but doesn't find the kill, and he gets traded.
Well, these boys were so far out. I mean, that was the range that Codcaster renders those players. That's as far out as you could possibly go. Good stuff, boys. We're learning here. Man advantage Rocker. What will you do with it? Looks like an A-bomb plant, and it should be a successful one here for the Heretics. Rocker rolling deep together. Here they come.
You have the numbers. Just play out the trades. You're already going to find a freebie in towards the site.
This is free. If you check it. Not free. Metals. Not free. Traded. 1v2. No idea where Super is. Not a clue. Nero's going to throw shoulders here. Try to find anything. Geo's going on a bit of a route. Bomb is safe. Super still lives. Oh! That would have been for streaks as well. It would have been for a 6 for Super. Good stuff, Rocker. Nice retake.
Thankfully that worked out, because I thought once Metals was just going to lay down in towards DVD, he was going to die for free. But when he walks away with one, it gave his teammate in Super an opportunity there. Just Geo checks the snap at the right time through the crack in the wall and lines up the gunny to secure the round there for Rocker. Down by 2 now.
Not bad. Not a bad place to be. Again, still hoping for a more decisive opener here from Rocker. Give me some aggression. And this is your round to do it, boys. Throw caution to the wind. Get yourself in towards the A-bomb site and just send it. This time they're in, but again, pinned down. Oh, by the superior positioning of the Heretics players. And that's another 2-man down. Estru trying to level up. Oh, nearly gets 3. But it's over to Kenny now in a 1v2.
It's a big round if Kenny can pull this off. You know that both Miami players have to be pushed out towards your spawn. You have a lot of time to work, so he's just going to get super aggressive on the backside of blue.
Whoa. He's going. He lives for now, but man, he's in so much trouble. No bomb either, so here comes the perfect split. Heretics playing their numbers. Timing's a little off, but he's going to get spotted out in a second, and not enough. Not enough legs, not enough manpower, not enough guns up. The Heretics just rocking over them again.
They just have so many different looks on a bunch of these rounds. One time they get aggressive through DVD. The next time they're stacking over towards courtyard and B site. This time they make the perfect play call. We're going back into that aggressive play. We know that Minnesota, with the slow and steady, it hasn't treated them well, so they're most likely going to go for a pace change. So Real is able to take space in towards DVD, find the first blood. The trade doesn't go down. They instantly find the second. And then, again, just in the man advantage, Miami played their numbers correctly. Point game.
And they are so good at that. Still a relatively young team, the Heretics. The chem is there. Uh-oh. Good job, Mills. That could have got a little dicey.
Kenny takes a lot of space there, though, Miles, off of that RC, though. So he's basically the safety net over at this A site. Everyone else gonna sort of watch crosses over towards B. But Miami is slowing down this round.
That's a neat little off angle as well from Kenny there. He's going to get a lot of intel on that side of the map without putting himself in danger. His boys have got the outside street pretty much covered. And I'm pretty sure that stun should have given you at least 2 or 3 players there on the intel. So that's a big moment. Trophy's now down, and yet you know it. You're committing some resources to this fight. It might be time to get going, Rocker.
Oh, and narrow strikes for the first kill. So that's massive, because now you have the man advantage, and you have Kenny also setting up the pinch, and then you just send it on in and clutch up on all the one-on-one gunfights. Rockers slow down the round. Do not do the aggressive push in towards DVD. So those first gunfights don't go down in the first 15 seconds. They find the opening first kill. They trap them in towards courtyard, and then they set up the proper play. Once this time, they have the numbers advantage to stay alive for another round.
And that's huge, man. Finally, Rocker, a round really going their way. That's the kind of confidence booster you certainly need this deep into a search and destroy, with the Heretics still there on map point. 3 rounds is nothing once you start getting it going. Opening hit doesn't do anything for the opening hit doesn't hurt anybody. English, mother trucker. A-bomb pod. Here we go.
Planning. Yeah, they're planning. They are switched up the tone, and Miami are banking on their slow approach through courtyard. Nero's running away from an RC car, able to stay alive, but at least the bomb is down.
The RC car was for the entry, and it doesn't get any kills, but it causes so much damage. So does Kenny. Can he get the second damage into the second man as well? Kenny is now starting to get going. Oh, he gets caught in the cross. Nero now still holding that side door. 25 on the bomb. Heretics are still by the hedges, and here we go. Nero, that's a massive win. A man on his tail. The hunt is there, but Nero nearly wins it 2v2.
This might not be enough time. Red Core is able to find Geo. All you have to do is stall out the clock, and Estru is also going to fall. Miami Heretics, able to successfully find the retake. First blood goes in favor of Rocker. It does not matter. That's unbelievable. Like, you can't allow that to happen if you're Rocker.
Nah, bro, it was the 2 in like perfect 1v1s. The observers caught it in the worst possible ways. Geo gets caught out on the play. Nero does everything he possibly can in that round alongside Kenny to maintain that site control and get that bomb down, and they do so well. They dodge the RC car in close range, like, I mean, kissing distance, and then it just falls apart. Individual prowess right there from the Miami Heretics, and not only that, man, but the teamwork in some of those rounds, they were playing that damn well. Rewind goes their way. 6-3. That's a 2-0 lead at the half. Woo.
Yeah, they found 6 first bloods on the map. One of the first bloods that they found actually led to a Minnesota Rocker round win, but the first bloods were the story, because every time they found that opening kill, they just played their numbers to their advantage. Minnesota Rocker were a little bit too late making those mid-round adjustments in search and destroy. Again, they play rewind so many times. I need to see some different strategies, because the side generator room to work your way towards the site never works, at least on your end. But unfortunately for Minnesota, you still got to do some homework. You're still a brand new team, but you're down 0-2.
Down 0-2, Desk, how we feeling?
3 first bloods, 3 plants. Metals is the man. Well done in Search and Destroy. But game 1 was all about Rancor. Let's start with the search alley. Miami are who we thought they were. On the other side is Minnesota, who you thought they were on Rewind.
It's so tough because that last round was a perfect example of Minnesota Rocker doing all of the work but missing a closer. You go back, you look at that round 9, Kenny gets the first blood, and that's after there's a plant going down in A. That's after Nero's run away from the RTXD and stayed alive. That's after they already had control of CD, but unfortunately Super and Rencor clutch and a moment of closers for Miami Heretics. When they're in these tough situations, they're able to pull through with some chaos.
And was this specific rounds, or do you think this is just going to be a safe map for Miami going into their home major?
I really like the way Miami played this map. You saw, like, starting off, they have different looks they can throw at you, but really it always comes down to aggression. And, you know, as Jay was talking about, like, the generators, like, how many times do we see one of the players like Esther or Nero just get caught and killed by Metals or Real, like, pushing into that room? Like, they play off each other so well. Near Elephant and DVD, it's just not much you can really do but take your time and try to bully out as a team if you're going up against them, right? So I just thought, you know, Miami, just good game plan coming into it. And Minnesota, not just fast.
Shout out to Elephant as a call out. Go ahead, Al.
And also, like, really good moments from Miami where, like, it was a grade A bang out throughout the first 6 rounds, but then at round 6, Miami does a full slowdown. They don't show anything anywhere. They wait for some information, and Minnesota had sent Kenny up gas to try and get early on these aggressive Miami pushes. What does Miami do? Push them out together as a team after slowing the round down, and then they're a man up in a situation to bang back out towards that A site. So just really head on the shoulders plays from side of Miami.
Super has done wonders for this team.
Yeah.
Like, their pace is faster. In Search in the clutch, he's so active. Like, what a pickup Miami have had.
Let's take a look at our map 1 a little bit deeper this time around. And we had one specific situation we wanted to call out here in the quick scope.
Yeah, let's talk about this. You know, this is the P2 here, and this is just a wonderful play. Super heads up as well, but Metals also. So we're going to talk about, like, the penultimate setup. If you can get it on this hill, is like you get a guy back here on the back square who can pick up this angle. You get some assistance here, maybe a guy playing on the car, right? So you have 2 people team firing it. Then you want somebody on rock, right, to kind of pick up that pinch, and then somebody soaking the hill. Well, we don't see it happen too often, but they get into that setup on this hill to close out the game. In this situation, you see this is Metals. He's going to pinch all the way around, go up, and then you're going to see Super here. He repositions so Metals can come in and get those kills. After they find those kills, it's the setup that they get into. So without, you know, breaking your brain and drawing too much, we'll talk you through it a little bit. Super knows that Metals can come up for a pinch, so he's going to back up. Play patient. He knows when to speed it up, but it's Metals' time to shine. So you come on in, I'll get the kill as they push me out, and then Metals, you find the cleanups. They get these 3 kills, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna push out the back, but number 3 on your mini map as well, Rencor, he knows that they could end up spawning here, but if not, then he can just hold the pinch if somebody tries to wrap around and come through side rock, right? So it's just played perfect. This is the exact setup that you want to get into if you can on this hill. In Miami, just executing at such a high level as well. When you got a guy like Super who can just pop pieces like that, and then Rencor, your safety net, picking up that last player on the pinch, and Kenny, you're going to find a massive chunk where they go on to win the game. Just awesomely played.
Crucial time to do it as well. The comms are flowing in Miami right now. Ow. Where are the Heretics at? Right now, they have a 3-1 record, 1 map away from finishing 4-1 on this stage.
They're unreal. It might not be like a top 4 conversation anymore. We might be looking at like top 5, top 6 teams heading into the event where like any of them could have an insane run.
Well, they have an opportunity to close things out on Vault coming up. Before we go, though, I want to revisit Minnesota and the pressure they're under. Are they crumbling? And have you given up on the Rocker yet?
I have not given up on the Rocker because I feel like they can make a run even through a loser's bracket, and they still, like, points wise, I believe they're at 130, right? So they're not in the worst spot. For them though, like, this would be a massive win.
They have been to 4 matches, 4 game 5s.
Yep, they've won 1.
3 round 11s, 1 round 10, and today I feel like they're not getting there. Let's find out though. Let's get the dealership. Let's get weird, Miles.
I'd love to get weird, Chris. You know me. You were wearing shades all day. Let's get it, bro. All right, so, Jay, we're going back to Vault. Obviously, very good for the Heretics early on. For Rocker, how are we feeling about their chances here of getting to a dealership, let alone the 4 Hardpoint map?
They got 1 rep on it with this squad versus Carolina. It went all the way to around 5, and one thing that stood out was just their defensive dominance. They were able to outslay every single defensive round by more than almost 10 kills. And if you can do that, then you're going to stand a pretty good chance of taking down Miami, because you saw it yesterday versus Toronto on their end. They struggled in the slaying. Meadows didn't have a good performance. Super sort of had a slow start. But the thing with Miami is this used to be their best control map. It's just sometimes when you don't play it, every time it's getting vetoed against you, you tend to fall back a little bit. But yesterday might have been a wake-up call. You need to be able to slay with them if you are Minnesota here.
Bring the kills. At the very least, get a chance at holding more hills. We'll talk about dealership later. I'm with it, though, Pucky. You know I'm with it. However, and this is a very dangerous team right now. The Heretics are on a delightful run on their way towards their own major. Next week, friends. Next week. Chris leaves in 48 hours. Here we go, Jay, in towards 8.
And Miami, at least also versus Toronto yesterday, they struggled when people started to value their life so good. Like when you're forcing Miami to look for you and then try to find clutch situations in those one-on-one gunfights, that's when they were losing those situations. And already off to a great start is going to be Narrow. Wins a double through the middle of the map. First segment should be guaranteed. Actually, every segment should be guaranteed because no one from Miami is in a position to contest early on.
They got no idea. They think the B play might be happening now, but it's not. And what, you had a nice stack, Estro, with a sweet 2-piece there by the double doors, and now you're going to go back onto the time. There we go. 1 segment to play, ladies and gentlemen, and the Miami Heretics say goodbye to A. Say hello to 2 minutes and 5 on the game clock.
Yeah, and now they're playing for exit kills. Thankfully, Super's already taken a lot of space. Finds one-on-one versus Geo. Now he puts himself in towards ammo to make their respawn routes a little bit more difficult, but Minnesota aren't going to waste any time. They're trying to isolate onto him while Estro's working the pinch.
Oh, that's good stuff. Estro picks up the pinch there. He doesn't get stabbed. Slamish nearly as Real lives. Trophy's now in play. This should be a nice opportunity to get some space back, but yeah, Metals is still chewing away the supply lines of Rocker. Estro with the wins, but it's not going to amount to a thing. Another life off the tally count, but now Kenny doing what he can to be a problem on this side of the map.
Yeah, so all he wants to do is be a nuisance. Thankfully, you got an arrow who's able to strike for 2 out of your spawn. So you have all this pressure in their base. It should allow some segments to be guaranteed. The other AR on the other side, Geo is starting to line up a couple freebies. Everyone pulls out an extra AR. They have all the map control. Miami, you better hit a nade or something.
Something. There's no trophies left. Just throw it, boys. Throw your rifles. I don't care. You got to get in there right now. The contest is on point, but that's it. Cleaned up. Last man gone. No one nearly able to get it done. Minnesota. Take round 1. Good stuff, boys. That was gross.
Yeah, that is as good as it gets there for Rocker. You get the initial push, works in your favor. You're guaranteeing segments. Miami didn't even have an opportunity to contest that A point. And then with all that time to work with, you give yourself a lot of opportunities. Thankfully, Narrow made the most of it, wrapping back towards ammo, finding the opening double while Kenny's already contesting in their spawn. Miami were just forced under a defensive look to have so many split looks instead of a team look. And they could not clutch up in the one-on-one gunfights, and Rocker come out swinging out the gates.
So, what you want, boys? That's what you want. You want to get that protocol hardpoint? You better give us 2 more rounds just like that. Well, Heretics do not want the protocol hardpoint. They will be quite happy to end the series here. It was a nice start. At least got bodies on A. 2 bodies now in the capture.
Yeah, just guarantee some early segments. Players in positions watching the power spots, but Renko dying first now allows these trade scenario to go down. It's a one-on-one between Real and Geo. Geo's just going to hold strong on his position, and I thought Real played that to perfection with the timing, but he clutches up, stops that initial push, and now the teammates are here.
The smooth movements right now. I mean, everyone's doing what they can. Nero 2-piece there on A, but over to B we go for the Heretics just for a moment there. Nero, he is hungry for the kills. He's not going to get it, though. Rencor keeps this life alive. Just over a minute to rock. You've got a segment in A. You've got a tiny bit of work done by B. You're starting to draw the Rocket players all over the map. Back to A.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You can already see 2 players committing over towards the B street, but Renkor's not able to win that one-on-one. So now you're simply going to be outnumbered in this situation because it's another one-on-one, and Nero's able to fly on in for the double. Keep on trading if you're Rocker. Time's going to keep on ticking down.
Yeah, halfway through A. This is not a lot of progress. They want to get a little bit more going, and Real with a nice route taken here. He's stunned, identified. Oh, but he lives to fight another day. On to A once again. Looking at the second segment, but Geo, once again, a clean sweep of time. They haven't accounted for Real yet, though. He's still at large.
Yeah, he's just trying to finesse. He wants to get lost, but eventually he's going to have to make a play, and he gets caught by Kenny. Initial kills going in favor of Rocker. Final 25 seconds. Metal towards Top Cat is in a powerful position. He finds an opening kill. Your teammate is there for the trade. You can still work on segments here today.
This could be it, yeah, and I feel like you've got the pressure on now. There's a sense of just get this thing captured, but wait, super off time. 2 players by Ruggs, good shots. Insane shots, good teamwork. We'll take it. You've still got time, boys. Get on it. There we go. 8.2. Kenny finds himself 2. The trade's there. Metal's last man alive on time. You've got to bring it down. Do not let that extra minute go their way. Heretics contest. Oh, what a win! There's 7 lives either side. Metals is a demon.
And they already have a lot of space. You're down banking on this pitch from Ezreal. Thankfully, he's able to find a kill, and Kenny is able to find one off the respawn. Now, no more respawns in favor of Miami, but Real can make a big-time play.
He's trying. Oh, that's a good start. Take that. Could have been an aims in hand, yeah. And now he is cooking. 2v5, not over yet. Nero finds a nice corner. Should be good for a freebie here. Just that. Nice work. Rocket, you have stabilized a very, very dangerous moment there. Heretics go down 2-0 in control.
Yeah, that's so good out of Rocker, man. Just consistently finding those traces in the middle of the map. Always being the last one standing. And then even when you find yourself in 1v2s, Gio had a moment from Top Cat, and then Nero had his moment from Top Cat. It's all about the gunfight sometimes, and just being the last one in the power spots. You win a majority of your kills. Be able to not give them a lot of opportunities once they capture that 8 point. And then map control was just like, all right, we're there, we're not there. All right, if I die, someone's going to instantly fill it. Beautiful teamwork there out of Rocker.
That's the system, man. And Jay, you called it perfectly at the start. The kills, man, it is absolutely there for Rocker. Everyone is starting to pump him. We're getting some much more, impressive damage up there. That was something that has been hurting them in the series so far. The stats you're looking for are in fact on the player cams, not on the board right now. 16 and 7, excuse me, for Ezreal. And Nero 16 and 11. On to the capture we go.
Yeah, it's an early 3-day, so a couple segments are going to be guaranteed. Real trying to find an opening. Hopefully his teammates off the respawn able to get out for free, but he's going to get caught on the pinch, so second segment is going to be locked on in. Time, again, might be early extended if Miami don't give it one last push.
Oh, that was the push they had. Ezreal picks up that pinch, and once again, the A zone has evaporated. Ladies and gentlemen, where did it go? Did it even start with a referee? Can we get a hand check in? God, it's absolute pandemonium. Over to B we go. Nero wins a big fight, and he's going to have bottom heart control as well. This is unreal. The kills, the positioning, that certain je ne sais quoi from Minnesota Rocker right now.
Yeah, this is just way too easy. You got 2 minutes to work with. You're up by a couple lives as well. And you got to have all the map control and all the power positions in your favor. Can Nero try to stay alive? He is going to get isolated. Now you're just banking on your teammates to find some success off the respawn, but they're already up the map.
Yeah, they're way up the map. They got the kill lead as well. Ken is now well and truly under the armor of the Heretics. An annoying position to be in. His teammates are getting dropped around him, but there we go. Shots at range. Real double dips for it. Usually terrible manners, but this time around he keeps Kenny away. So watch out for this one, folks. That is going to be defense in the bag for Rocket if we have to go the distance, but the boy's not going to want it. That's halfway through B now. The stack is on. Metal's on the pinch. Dead and red. A 1v1 now to keep it going, and Gio's holding it back.
Yeah, Gio's just putting down shots into Super. He knows he's the only one here still trying to fight for his life. But now the teammates are here. Trade. Minnesota, you just got to end that on top.
They're trying. Nero's got the contest going. A 1v1 win for Rancor. Another one in the bag. Another notch on his belt. Saves this third and final segment and saves the map for them. We go again. 1:30 on the clock.
Oh, and Ezreal might be able to sneak on by, but he's just going to play real slow around the car. Metals off the rewrap. So to find that one-on-one. Now Miami only down by 2 lives, is still banking on this very tight setup in towards their spawn, but now with 3 kills going their way, you take all the space to the middle of the map, all tied up in lives now.
Yeah, you push that phase line forward, you push it forward at the Heretics. They're starting to get closer to your spawn. Real on a pinch, able to maybe get one out of this. No, he's all he's got is shot at, so now the opportunity to fly forward still with decent numbers. Oh, nice shots out of Gio. A 2-life lead, still in a minute to play.
Yeah, you can't really afford to trade, though, if you're Miami. You're down by 2 lives. You're only 1 life away from not having any more respawns. And you know that they're going to be in a position already up the street. Now, no more respawns. You got to go.
Oh, what a shot from Ezreal. That's 3 dead. That's going to be game. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Minnesota Rocker right back into this series. We're going to see a protocol hardpoint.
Dude, like Astrio Nero just set the tone. We're talking about multi-time, every single time, just finding an opening double, putting himself in a clutch position, just being a nuisance with that SMG. And that was what was the issue yesterday for Miami versus Toronto. Kleenex got lost, Joe Deceives got lost, even Benjamin Beans was getting lost over towards ammo. You just can never account for these guys or trade them out effectively. And what used to be a really strong map for the Heretics, definitely got to go back and do your homework on it, get some more practice, because you need this vault to be a part of your map pool, and right now it isn't.
Oh, it's a glaring weakness. Highlights a lot of Rocker love in this one. A very, very purple show they put on for us. If they let that purple rain all over the Heretics, they certainly ruined their time here on Vault J. That was disgusting work.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. We're talking about every single bake-off. You're winning a majority of the gunfights. You're putting yourself in the early numbers advantage. And then I don't really like the approach from Miami on their defense is to try to retake their way in towards A. Once that initial play call gets shut down, it's like they gave it up for free. You're allowing them so much time to find one opportunity at that B point. And then when you have them put so much focus on the front because teammates aren't clutching up in one-on-one gunfights. And now when you're putting all the focus on the front, there's players on the pinch that are already shooting us in the back. It was just way too much to handle there with Minnesota slaying the way that they did. So they're able to extend this series. Rocker desperately need this W if they want to have a chance at having that open bracket at Major 3. But that's a good start right there to build some momentum.
Let's get that. I mean, the protocol we go. See how this fight goes down, but man, a very, very fun game of control there for Rocker. I also love the way they play that V zone. Not just, you know, if they've got numbers on it or if they've got space around it. They do not let anyone get into a position to really contest. Trophies or not, man, that was a very, very good look. Protocol hardpoint, here we go, ladies and germs. From the blistering heat of Vault now to the rainy gloom of Protocol. But for some, we're starting to look up, Jay. We're really starting to look up if we're Rocker. We've got some momentum, got a dub under our belt. How are you feeling about this hardpoint?
It's insane because I feel like every time we talk about Rocker, regardless of whatever the roster is going to be, you can never, ever count them out of a series. Now that they show some fight in that control, going into this Protocol HP, this is another map that they choked in that map 4 scenario. This is where they need to show improvements. I know Nameless is saying that game 5s haven't been too icy, but the fact that they are so different from the map 1 HPs to the map 4 is crazy to me because you usually find yourself up by a hefty margin. Versus Optic Texas, you played this map, you were up by like 80 points and then started losing every single rotation. Just like it did in map number 1 of this series, you need to make sure that you're winning rotations because you cannot allow Miami to dictate the way the game is going to be played. Bros here? Am I the only one here? All right, I'm the only one here. Okay. Real and Red Core went absolutely crazy in map number 1. Just 29 and 18, 30 and 16, both over 1.5 KD. If you got guys that are going to put up these numbers, you're most likely going to find a lot of success in the hard points. And it only just helps. It keeps on emphasizing how impactful Super's pickup to this lineup has been because the guys who you were usually always relying on have putting up the numbers that they do. But when he's on the team and they can take a little bit of weight off his back, they can just more focus on their sling, and they showed it there in map 1. Miles is still not back. All right, just me. Miami Heretics, you're looking to close this one out. Yesterday versus Toronto, you were consistently playing from the back foot. A couple times you were able to win some rotations towards some of the money hills, but your setups were easily getting broken into. That needs to be better today because the way that Minnesota Rocker just played in that control, you can tell that their guns are hot. Estrew is feeling himself. Nero's feeling himself. Gio and Kenny found themselves in a lot of opportunistic situations, and they took advantage of them. But now if you're a Rocker, desperately trying to fight for this dub, desperately trying to fight for these 10 points to give you somewhat of some separation in the standings to work your way towards champs. Just the map 4s, they have no ice in them recently, even if they're up by 80. So the start off is going to be big. Miami looking to bounce back. I don't know if Ross is here with me yet. Yes. But Protocol Hardpoint, here we go.
I am back. So sorry, mate. Discord absolutely exploded on me, but we have returned and in the right time because we're in the game. Yay!
I thought you were about to pull the Astro from me. You know, Astro's always down to, you know, pass a single series by himself, but
I couldn't
do that to me, brother. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I don't mean to do it to any of you. I don't mean it. I swear. Well, I tell you who means it. Right now, the Heretics, they're like, game 5, no thank you. No mas. We'd like to end this series here, please. Super with a couple of good ones there on time, but this spree's going to continue for a moment, Jay. We're going to still battling hard for this one if we're Rocker. We've got ourselves out of trouble and into the good.
Yeah, Rocker just consistently flooding over towards Heli, trading effectively, and now they're back into the time. Soaking up a majority of this P1. Pin tries kill feed, spawn start to flip, and this is not ideal if you're Miami if the kills don't go with it, but they find the initial 2. They're going to win the rotation and have an opportunity to trap Rocker towards the back.
Get trapped. Find those kills. Rocker with the perfect looking minimap right now, and if not for Super, who is literally doing it all with the shots, this would look a lot better there for the Minnesota boys, but now doing absolutely everything they can. Here comes a massive hit from the Heretics up through the stairs. They've eaten a nade or 2. Here comes a stun for your troubles, lads, and a couple of shots in there from Estral is going to keep them at bay, and this is lovely time and good positioning. Rancor opens the window. Nero and Geo close it. No thank you.
Oh, man, that is a perfect hold there from Rocker, because I was thinking, all right, Miami have some somewhat top-middle control. They're already pressure over towards the Sep, so Rocker on their tight setup. Make it work out to perfection to dominate there at the P2. Now you're contesting off the rotation over towards New. You're finding the initial 2 kills to go your way. 2 players already across the map. What else can Estria do? Absolutely nothing, but you still got Kenny in the right position.
Gustav Ken, he's going to get spawns for the team right now. Heretics trying to hunt him down. Super, the first man on his victim list, as we are doing a great job maintaining control of the map, but not the hard point just yet. Geo now in a power position to dive into the fight, get the members of the Heretics off time. And here comes the pitch through the back. Heretics now with the pressure. Heretics the numbers and the kills. That's their break.
That's massive right there for Miami to get yourself back into this game. You know how effective that P3 to P4 chain can be, but Estrio already strikes for the first kill. Now you got top trips control. You can continue to be a nuisance from this angle, hoping your teammates can find success through the front.
Here we go. Estrio guns him, stays alive. A 2 would have been unbelievable, but that's going to be Metals there. Nero fills the gap immediately. Brought down again. Rocker still fighting hard here for the 20 seconds on P3. The drop to 4 is now on the menu. You have to get over there, and that's exactly where the Heretics have already started to send it. So win these fights all you want, boys. But the next one, that is cash.
Yeah, they already won the initial gunfight towards down low, so they're going to have the rotation over towards New. They were able to still make it mixy to close out the ending of that P3, but this is how the Heretics bounce back in the game. But that is a big, massive first kill for Minnesota. Now you got the numbers.
Can they get the time over the beach? Real on the left, Super on the right. And now in the middle, Geo trying to find an entry alone. This is good damage. No teammates. That's Rancor on the drop and a perfect hold once again from the Heretics. Looking to take back the lead.
Yeah, that's so icy right there because Miami were simply going to be outnumbered, but everybody from Rocker decided to go through big door. No different angle of approach, not a pinch on the horizon, so Miami would have just able to stack it in the 3v3 and watch all 3 angles and clutch up on the fight. So a lead chain on the cards unless you get ripped off the heady. So Minnesota's still trying to make it mixy, but Miami is still here.
But we're keeping it mixy for sure. But the Miami mixer, oh man, we are shaking hands and some all down. Rocker back to the drawing board here. Not been a money hill. They have lost the lead. Oh my word. Super is looking to pad them stats, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping the boys on their toes. On the way back to P1 we go. And there's nobody home upstairs except for Rio. And he's dead now as well. So a nice 3 dead in the feed. And Rocker should be able to soak a bit of this.
Yeah, rotations won by Rocker. You already had the indication when Snaro spawns up that the pressure's going to be toward the backside of Trips. But Rencor on the pinch takes care of both of those players. So now if you're Estrio, you're thinking, I have to fight these gunfights. Thankfully, you win the first one. You don't allow Miami to get close, so your teammate's able to reinforce right behind you.
What a win from Real. You will take that. And do a good job here from the Rocker. Maintaining this P1 control. Lead change once again. Not a lot left towards P2 just yet, but for now, you'll take it. Real keeping the fight alive there at 13-9. Not letting anyone get too close to this time. Good shots again. The 5 spree's over. Back on a P1 we go, and Rocker maintaining the right-hand side of the map.
And if you're Miami this time around, you just need the kills to go your way and the rotation to go your way. It was Estro who was able to sneak out last go around through bottom comms, find that opening kill onto the player sitting in the hard point, and then they can never contest after that. But already 3 dominated in the feed by Miami. win the rotation over towards Noah. Now Rocker going to have a really long route to even try to contest this.
Yeah, really tough. Couple of kills on the side helps. Real, though, where he wants to be for this fight. Yeah, and he gets it. Nice, too. That's the backline secure. No streaks to play with at this point in time. And lovely shots on a Kenny. Not enough for the kill. He's still maintaining this lead, Heretics. And Metals is on the hunt for a player who he just lost sight of. It was Estriel. Thankfully, Renkor's their team. And an awkward gunfight there that Ken somehow walks away with Jay. And we've got 30 seconds to go here on P2, and Heretics is back in.
Oh my God. And Metals just made a magnificent double kill over towards the boat side. And now he can get aggressive with the space. You know your teammates are going to be free to soak up potentially that final time, but every kill that you get is going to spawn them behind you, but your life is a lot more valuable. Just back on down, wait for the next push.
Nice hold. 3 dead. Last man Real gone. Excellent work, Rocker. They've got full control now of P3. This should be a good 15 to 20 seconds they can really hold on to without too much trouble. Estriel, the frontline man, goes down, and here comes a fast hit. And Gio, unfortunately, he doesn't get the engagement first, so he's been pressured back. Rocker in a bit of trouble here. Let's go for a listen in.
He's weak, sir. One bullet, lay a bullet now. I'm going to I want to pee, I had to go right. I'm going there with you. I'm trying to get in there. He's not back, man. Back now? Average right here. I big door. I'm going to get far. I'm getting as far. I'm with you. I big door. Another big door. They're not. I'm one shot. Come in. Watch out. I got naded. Name of big door. I beat this guy. I'm on my left, Joe. One's on me, P2. 2P2. They're close. They're close. My bad. I'm close. One shot close. Yes, bro. I got we gotta go beat her. Metal's one shot back that time. He goes in. One can be top mid too. Yeah, give me top mid. Yeah. I don't see top mid. I stunned it. Reflect right there. Alright, back right. Weak. Where's the stairs? One shot. I'm coming out. I'm mid. I'm dead. He's dead. I'm dead. I'm two time. I'm wrapping. There's 1P2 still. Within here? Yeah, we found a deep. He went back to low P2 stairs, Real. Yeah, Real's low P2 stairs. Get that guy, bro. He's there, Still there, Real. Now we coming. He's stairs. That's it. Weak. I got Eddie. We're good. Hey, two. We're out. You're get there. Good. Give me back. I'm trying to get our grannies, bro. There's two right now.
What a break from the Heretics, Jay. Money Hardpoint, big sprees across the board, and they are looking at the 3-1 win soon.
Yeah, they have blown the game wide open. If you're Minnesota, that setup just needed to be a lot better. They just really didn't have an opportunity. Once that initial nade that doesn't get a kill forces Nero out of that position over towards Spiral, and then you're forced to play super stack in towards comms. Miami just flood their way through big doors. They soak up all the time there. Now only need 20 seconds to close out this series.
Speaking of super, here comes a Hellstorm from Metals. 21-15. He's looking to get a couple more here. His teammates finding those kills. Nero and Estriel, run, boys! They manage to stay alive as the slow hit towards the spawners. Protection there on the Geo is going to keep him alive, but right now the time's ticking away. And Miami Heretics, look at this. 5 seconds for the win. No one close to contest. You are going into your major with a big smile on your face. Taking on all comers with super, and the form is looking good.
Too much firepower, man. Too much firepower on the side of Miami Heretics. Ever since the addition of Super on the side of Rocker, they continue to struggle in map 4s. They continue to struggle in their search and destroy. That has been the epitome of their demise. They are now 1-4. A couple map wins. Every single series went the distance to go all the way to a map 5, but for them, you're going to be starting in lose bracket at Major 3, and that only gives you one shot. You got a lot to fix before you get there. Hopefully, you make up some time.
You got a little bit of time. Well, a very, very tough map there for Nero. He was unable to get anything going, quite frankly. Competent time, though, 129 from him, but for the Heretics, it is just all green over there, man. Really nice assists, lovely non-traded work. Jay, they had the map on lock. They had everything going the way they wanted to, and they got to test their holds and their breaks, and in particular, their breaks against a squad like Rocker were looking fantastic, certainly helping out there. A very, very smooth and relatively stable climb to that 250 mark. GG's in the chat. Rocker A little bit of work to do before we fly out to the major, boys.
Dude, when you can